You've seen a lot of discussion in this conference about, okay, that personalized medicine is being on the lips of everybody for a few years now, to the point that it's basically wearing off. But you saw a lot of discussion in this conference based on diagnostics, because a big component of what we call personalized medicine is the realization that we can no longer be certain about the diagnosis. It used to be very simple: you got a tumor, you moved on to treatment. Now, it's not very simple to characterize the tumor, and although initially we thought it's simple, you get the mutation and that's it, then you move on, there are a lot of technical, analytical, organizational, logistic problems around that, getting that profile right, so you can be certain that your drug works or not works. At least you are certain where you get a good answer from your clinical trial at the end. So SPECTA is the result of EORTC realizing that there's a lot of activity done out there and nobody is organizing it very well. We organize the structure where patients are basically diagnosed as best as possible with multiple technologies and starting with next generation sequencing. That's what we do. And during the whole process, having as good a quality control as possible. So we try to have an excellent quality control in all stages of tumor acquisition, of tumor transfer, of tumor control, of DNA extraction, of testing, of reporting results, which is exciting given what at least I have heard in this conference, with all stakeholders taking a small piece of that pipeline and working on it, and somebody needs to structure the whole thing together. So that's what we're basically doing. It is a framework. The field is so big that there's no point of EORTC pretending that we can do it ourselves. Okay? We have no such ambition. What we try to do is structure the field. So some people go to the open source philosophy, let's open it up and put it out there, but which is an excellent philosophy, and actually use it for parts of our platform. But we think that the structuring effect is necessary from somebody, because what happens with the boring parts that are very, very important, but nobody really wants to work on. So that's basically it. It's a platform where many stakeholders, including private stakeholders, including public stakeholders, academic, come and work together to solve this issue of giving access to clinical trials for patients that need a good molecular characterization of their tumor. We're coming out of very tiring 2 years, which has been exciting for us. So the initial obstacle we had to surmount was the opening of the platform at sites, because you realized it was a very strange protocol. It was applied as a protocol. It was a very strange protocol to all sites, because we're asking for tumor tissue, we're asking for registration of the patients, and we don't promise much in return. So they had to donate tissue and patient data in promise that maybe they get something like a clinical trial at some point. So that was a bit scary for us, but we managed to do it. So in SPECTA Color, which is the first platform that's open, and it's for colorectal cancer, we are almost close to 500 patients now and increasing steadily. We have opened 19 sites from 9 countries, and so far everything works okay. We collect the tissue, we do our quality control, quality is fine. The logistics, the electronic infrastructure of this works very well. We have done our first batches of NGS sequencing, so we're extremely happy with that. At least we can prove that the model works. Now the next step is to plug projects into that. That's the first point, and from our discussions it looks like many different partners are interested in plugging projects. So possibilities include clinical trials, companies that want to run their clinical trials in the traditional way, but they want the wealth of information that comes from sequencing to do correlations after the trial for their tumors. We have companies that actually want to select the patients based on our platform, and there's a lot of interest for diagnostics, because there is one diagnostic component apart from the basic pathology in SPECTA, which is next generation sequencing, but there are multiple technologies like blood-based biomarkers, for which we heard a lot in this conference, that need benchmarking with the current technologies, and SPECTA can be used very well into that. So that's one next step, and the second next step, which is actually very close on the horizon, is the opening of the platform for lung cancer. brain tumors and melanoma, which is all three are starting or have started regulatory submissions, so they should be open pretty soon. As always, the EORTC website is the best place to go to, so it's eortc.org, and SPECTA is on the first page, and we hope it will remain on the first page, on the homepage of our organization, so that's the way to go.